Child, here we go with another episode of the Church Fool La La. Donnie McClurkin is facing new civil lawsuit. Child, we're gonna talk about the claims, the denials of it all, and then we're gonna talk about what's next. Child, I tell you what, I am so sick of the Church Fool La La, but let's get into it, shall we? Oh yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my nieces and nephews, and all the y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie advice. Sweet old. It's time for auntie advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for auntie advice. Child, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Donnie McClurkin. What the? For real? Really? For real, y'all? This is Donnie McClurkin, and this is his accuser. Y'all, it's a whole bunch of mess going on, and we don't just go ahead on and talk about it, shall we? So, in a lawsuit, a guy named Giuseppe Corletto filed a civil lawsuit in New York claiming that McClurkin actually abused him over several years. According to this complaint, Corletto first sought spiritual guidance from McClurkin as a young adult while struggling with his sexuality. The lawsuit says some of the alleged claims occurred during private Pray the Gay Away sessions. Hi, everybody. What in the is a Pray the Gay Away? I'm sorry, what? All right, let me get myself together. Let me get myself together. Donnie McClurkin and, of course, his lawyer have denied the allegation, calling the claims categorically false. This case is a civil lawsuit, not a criminal conviction, y'all. Allegations in civil lawsuits must be proven in court, and no court ruling or guilt has been made yet. In this video, we're going to be discussing this lawsuit, and publicly reported allegations. I just want y'all to know that all of the claims discussed are allegations only. The defendant has denied wrongdoing, and no court has issued a ruling. This content is commentary and analysis for informational purposes only. Let's go ahead on and get into the food la la of it all. Like, this is just food la la. So according to an article in Magic 102.1, Pastor Donnie McClurkin is facing a civil lawsuit. Okay? This guy saw him out as a spiritual mentor. This lawsuit claims that McClurkin groomed the victim and engaged in essay during Pray the Gay Away sessions, a work related travel. McClurkin has denied these allegations. The lawsuit was filed under New York City's gender motivated violence protection law, which seeks accountability and closure for the victim, who says discovering an alleged apology from McClurkin brought validation to his claims. So it appears that he didn't apologize for the crap. You know what, now in a article in Jubilee Cast, and I'll make sure I put all of the stuff down here, right? So that y'all can go through the whole articles. They reported this civil lawsuit, right? And this allegedly, this essay had been going on over a period of years. It includes an alleged apology email in which McClurkin reportedly referred to himself as a dirty old man. Child, I can't. I can't. Now, according to the lawsuit, this guy Carletto was 21 years old at the time. He was invited to meet privately with McClurkin, and McClurkin took a personal interest in him. So, how are you praying to gay away if you gay? Is this what he's alleging? Carletto alleges that what initially appeared to be a spiritual mentorship later became grooming. He further alleges, y'all, that they engage in essay during what was described as these spiritual sessions, and the alleged conduct escalated over the several years. And according to the report, during this period, Carletto reportedly worked as McClurkin's assistant and traveled frequently with him. The lawsuit states that following this essay at a hotel in Niagara Falls in 2013, McClurkin sent Carletto an email apologizing for his actions. The complaint quotes Kirkland as allegedly writing, "I am the actual epitome of a desperate, dirty old man, and I feel so foul, so stupid." Now, of course, you all know McClurkin is 66 years old. He had a health scare maybe about a year ago, and they said that he strongly denied the allegations, stating that they are categorically false. Um, at this point, y'all, at this stage, the claim remains allegations, and they are in a lawsuit, and no court has ruled on the validity of it. The case is expected to proceed through the legal system. This is a hot mess. So right now, Donnie McClurkin is a defendant in this lawsuit. And this guy is basically saying he came to him for counseling and mentorship because he was struggling with his own, issues at 21 years old. And it turned into a full-fledged relationship, I guess. And see that, the problem is it's the power dynamics. I mean, that's just it appears that this is this was according to the allegations, the counseling allegedly included private prayer, or deliverance sessions aimed at changing this guy's sexual orientation. And the guy is alleging misconduct. He claims that there was a power imbalance, which is, a pastor versus a mentor versus a young adult seeking guidance. And some of these allegations also include travel and assistant type work where access and control were allegedly increased. So here's the thing, a lot of people are scrutinizing this because this involves spiritual authority from a pastor or a religious leader, counseling dynamics, claims of undue influence, not just, the physical act of it all, and allegations tied to conversion style prayer, which is controversial but not illegal on its own. What I want y'all to make sure that y'all understand that this is not a criminal case or criminal conviction. Not the facts have not been proven yet. It's not a ruling that pray the gay away is illegal. But what is pray the gay away? Let me look this up real quick. What is pray the gay away? I like what in the whole I ain't never heard of nothing like that in my whole entire life. And I've been in church just about all my life. I don't know what this is. So if I'm confused, y'all may be confused too. Okay. So we're going to just go ahead on and figure out and find out what this crap means. So it says it's a phrase used to describe religious practices that claim prayer, counseling, or spiritual intervention can change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. It's not a formal program name, it's a critical shorthand people use to describe a range of practices, often called conversion therapy. They say that what it involves is prayer or deliverance sessions, pastoral counseling focused on changing attraction, fasting, confession, and spiritual discipline, teaching that the same sex attraction is a sin or a spiritual struggle. Some versions are informal, while others may be more constructed and organized. Um, they saying that this is like is controversial, right? Because there's no credible science or evidence that your sexual orientation can be changed, and these practices can cause psychological harm, including anxiety, depression, shame, and trauma. And because of this, the term is often used critically, not neutrally. Okay. So the legal status of this, let me make sure that I talk to y'all about that too, which is an important distinction, right? Prayer itself is legal under religious freedom. However, formal conversion therapy is restricted or banned for minors. Now, this guy allegedly was 21 years old, so he doesn't fall into that category. But for adults, legality depends on content, whether it was conversion, fraud, abuse of authority, XY, 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 XY. Um, I also want to make sure that I note that the term refers to religious counseling practices aimed at changing the orientation. A lot of people say that it can be harmful, while some people support the frame. It is self-based guidance. Courts basically are going to be focusing on the conduct and not the belief of it. Now, look, I ain't never heard of this before. I am learning some things, ain't I? Because I mean, I've been in church just about all my life, y'all, seriously, as a young girl. And I have never heard of this before. Never heard of this before. Pray the gay away. I'm going to be very careful about what I say because I don't want to offend nobody, but child, what the fool la, the church fool la of it all. I'm telling you, I know a couple of, y'all, was it a year ago when he was going through, I believe they found out he had congestive heart failure. And you know what I don't understand? And I need y'all to help me downtown in the comment section. Why do people wait years to address issues? I will never understand that. Because I ain't waiting no whole long time to bust you out, to sue you, to drag you, to have somebody come up there and whoop you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I don't understand why people go through this for years. Years. And so it makes me wonder, what is the motivation of doing it now? Not to say that you can't, right? Not to say that you can't, but I just be wondering why people wait 4 years to say something. The other day I reported about Tyler Perry, right? And this guy that's suing him right now. And then they said stuff came out where he had, days before he filed his lawsuit, he had asked him for some money. Child, let me find that real quick. I'll put the source. What you saying, boo? It's the trauma, and men are extra embarrassed. So are women, because women oftentimes don't feel heard or believed. Women go through stuff like this too, and embarrassment and shame. Like they really, really do. They really, really do. So I just think it's just how you built. I believe your deliverance is personal. There are times when you can go and, how you doing, Lotus Egyptian Flower? Hi, sweetie. I believe that there are times when you can go to your pastor or whatever, but I believe that deliverance from certain things is absolutely personal in between you and whoever you worship, whoever you believe in. All of this taking your business to the church, because from my experience, stuff don't stay your business or your business between you and that pastor, that counselor. I also believe that they need to read you your Miranda rights. And I'm just talking straight from the gut. I think that they need to read you your Miranda rights that says what you say can and will be used against you in the court of this church. Because it be a lot of people, over my life, over my experience, hearing things and stuff like that, be a lot of people that go and sit and talk with their pastors and stuff about stuff. And it's supposed to have been a private meeting. And the next thing you know, the whole congregation know about it. Plus, some pastors preach it over the pulpit, tell your business straight over the pulpit. And you sitting up in there twitching your, it's in the pew, because you know that's your business, and you hoping that don't too many people give you the side eye when you decide to look up from that Bible. Some stuff got to be between you and your God. It just, and then if you don't have personal insurance, there's stuff like this will pop up. I think that people should have personal insurance for stuff like this. Now, this is not to say that the guy's lying. This is not to say that Donnie McClurkin did it, because this video we just talking about what's out there in the news. But I'm going to tell you, you have got to guard yourself, guard your heart, guard your pocketbook, guard everything with due diligence. Because, honey, out of it, if you don't do that, you set up for the setup. allegedly. You got to cover your back. You got to cover your heart. You got to keep your business to yourself. You can't even take that and write it on an anonymous note and stick it in a box in the back of the church that says anonymous, because honey, they can probably draw back to the camera footage, rewind that, and find out who dropped what in the box and at what time, what color the paper was, the ink that was on it. Like, you got to learn how to deal with some things on your own. Now, if you got real trusted friends that you can talk to, you go hit on and talk to them, right? But it's you talking at your own risk. I just, and I don't mean to be a negative Nancy about it. I'm just telling what I know from over the years. You got to keep what, if you are too embarrassed for it to get out, then don't say nothing. Or hire a professional. Hire somebody who's professional, who got a license that they can possibly use. Because a lot of people that's, in the church, no shade enough, and they not licensed clinicians to be able, or therapists to sit up there and talk to you. When I go through things and stuff like that, when I go through things and I know that I'm at my wit's end about it, I'm gonna be honest with y'all and transparent. I go to a therapist. I go to therapy. A licensed therapist, is their job to keep it private under HIPAA laws and some more laws. I don't go to, like, I'll talk to, my friends and stuff about stuff, but stuff that's like that I would feel harmed if it goes out. I talk to my therapist about it. I just go hit on and pay the money and go. And I pay the money out of pocket so that I can make a decision about who it is that I want to sit down with and tell my business to. Out of pocket. I don't want you to tell me you got to go to the therapist that costs $35 a month. No, I want somebody that is licensed and practices in a certain area, and that's who I want to sit down and spend my time with, my hour of time. I do not believe that everything can be handled through prayer. I'm not one of those type of people. Though I do believe in prayer, I also believe that God has armed and educated people to be able to walk with me, talk with me out of certain situations. So I'm going to pay for to go and see a therapist to handle stuff like what? I had a session today with my therapist, because when stuff is getting out of whack, I need to talk to a therapist. And it ain't no shame in my game, but I'm not going to the pastor. I'm sorry, I just ain't. I ain't going to none of the deacons, none of the ministers in the church. I ain't even going to my friends. I'm walking through the stuff myself and processing it myself and processing it with my therapist. And that's on everything. I believe in therapy. I believe in sitting on somebody's chair. I believe in playing in the sandbox. I believe in writing, drawing pictures, okay, so tell me, auntie, how would you write it down? Here goes some crayons and some markers and stuff. And I want you to write down how you felt when you was 15. Bitch, I'm writing, I'm coloring, I'm scribbling, I'm doing what I gotta do. I'm sitting down with them and I do my homework on them. And sometimes when they're not equipped, they'll say, okay, well, you know what? This situation I'm not as familiar with, may not be able to help you with it. So I'm going to go ahead on and refer you, give you a referral. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Cat William was on what you call him thing, and he said people are going to be exposed, and they study being exposed for who they are. Not to say Like, this is no guilt or anything like that, right? Not to say, but it's going to be a lot of stuff and a lot of people that we all going to be surprised about who they really are, inside and out. And we're not going to be able to stand in a position and in a place where we're going to be shocked. We're just going to have to be like, you know what, that's a human being at the end of the day. And human beings they have flaws, including me and you. All of us got flaws and stuff like that. Now, I ain't doing no shit like this, but I'm going to tell you right now, therapy works. You have to find somebody. It's not, therapies are not, one size fits all. You have to really do your research on who you're going to sit down with and talk about your life, right? And until you really get a feel for that person and get comfortable for that person, even in therapy, you can't tell everything. You can't tell everything, but and the thing about it is I'm an introverted person, right? I'm very introverted. Didn't realize I was until later on in life. Wish I had known it earlier. I may not have done some things in some relationships that I have done, but anyway, you gotta keep moving on. But I'm an introverted person, so I'm always thinking, always by myself and kind of working things out on my own, right? Not really open to people like people think that I am. And I have learned through being an introverted person that sometimes you may overthink, or you may because you're just always on the outside, or at least that's how you feel. That's how I feel a lot of times, that I'm on the outside of stuff. And I have learned to be okay with that, and I've learned how to process that and to do other things, right? To kind of balance myself off. And then, like, I'll talk to my therapist about something, and one of the things that I've learned is that, while you may not tell everything, whatever you do tell, you got to be honest. I don't know, anything about um this particular situation, but it just seems like there was a balance in power. And again, I don't understand why people don't say anything. Maybe I'm just one of those type of people that if I see something, I'm gonna say something, okay? But you got to take care of yourself, and can't nobody pray nothing away. You have to have a relationship to pray your own stuff away. You can't tell everything to everybody. It ain't like you're gonna be sitting up in some magical booth or confessional and your stuff may not get out. You don't never know who even is on the other side of it. I ain't doing no hotline. I ain't calling no psychic hotline. I ain't doing anything like that, right? I'm going to work it out. And I do believe that one of the things that has been helping me is reading. Reading what other people right now. I've been reading about, because I'm older now, of course, you all know. And I have been just like really reading about menopause, right? I lost my mom when I was 22 years old. I don't really discuss personal stuff like that with my aunties and stuff like that. And so I have been really reading about like menopause and stuff like that, right? Because sometimes you be thinking you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when really it's just hormonal. And you older, your body is not functioning the way that it used to function anymore. And you have to, you can learn from other people, right? You ain't gotta be running around telling nobody I need to have menopause counseling. No, go and pull up, books and it's called self-help. Help your goddamn self. I just, I don't know. I just know that I was feeling crazy, feeling like I had dementia. I'm forgetting stuff. Don't want to get up. Don't want to be around people. Oh my God, did not want to be around people is serious. Like, I don't understand. And then I think that, in this case with Donnie McClurkin, it appears that he was working for him and seeking therapy at the same time. Be one or the other. Be an employee or be somebody in the congregant. You do not, like, why am I sitting there and telling my boss all my business? If you my boss, there has to be a line. Is it me? Because if it's me and I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong. Don't have me out here set up and I'm wrong. I don't want my boss to be my boyfriend. And people, I noticed that people are making, they having two different relationships, and of course the balance is going to be off. Y'all will keep up with this story and follow it and see what's going on. Y'all let me know what y'all think downtown in the comments section. But I tell you, it's a whole bunch of fool la la, and these days, it's a whole lot of stuff about these people that are going to be exposed. And we can't be shocked or surprised. We can talk about it. Yes, you see, therapists are wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because they have insight on things. They're able to sit back and listen to what it is that you have to say. And they bring that correction. And I have found that, just writing down things like revisiting my past explains a lot about where who writing down the past, family dynamics, all of that has helped me to understand why I function the way I function. Like, what part of me was I protecting? Which part of me was vulnerable and didn't know any better? Like, what part of me, right? So it's just complicated. It's just complicated, but it's beautiful sitting down with somebody who can sit on the outside and help you process why you process things the way that you process them. But I'm hoping that justice is served either way. The evidence will show who's right and who's wrong. Don't forget that this is civil and not criminal, because Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. Let me see if it was anything else in my notes that I um yeah, I think that the thing about it is, I think that with this is the power or the authority that one has on the other one. Um, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think downtown in the comment section. Oh, and by the way, if you received an anthropology glass in the mail, it's from me. Okay? I've been seeing posts. I had to answer a post the other day from somebody who received their anthropology glass, had their little drinky, and was like, okay, who sent me this? And I had to get down in their post and say I sent it. So if you receive an anthropology glass in the mail, I sent it. Okay. I love y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think downtown in the comment section. And until next time, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. I love y'all. Bye.